Oh, it's a white party.
Mr. Burns tries to relive his glory days and crosses paths with a mysterious music mogul who throws parties full of excesses. And we also see plenty of rappers, like for example Snoop Dogg,
I sing JG, pimp, lie, and ride.
betrayals and strange friendships.
You make me believe I can fly.
It all starts with Homer as our narrator, telling the tragic collision between the last magnate of the jazz age and the king of a hip-hop empire. First, we see Burns, who is sad, reminiscing about his past when he used to throw incredible parties, while receiving a double transfusion of fresh blood.
My parties were legendary for their magnificent excess.
Smithers recommends that Burns throw a party at his beach house, which Burns finds to be a great idea. He decides to personally oversee every detail of the party, only asking Smithers for a giant ice block from a river in Canada, risking his life. Because store-bought cubes are too lame, I guess. The next day, Smithers hands Homer the invitations to the party for him to deliver because he believes Homer is quite popular. The guests Burns originally wanted to invite are long gone from this world, as he probably even invited dinosaurs. Upon returning home, Homer shows his family the invitations and later distributes them in his own unique way.
You're not invited.
To what?
None of your business.
Given this party taking place in a rich island, Homer must select the perfect guest list of the city's most social elites. At a parking lot, yeah, that seems about right for me. As the guests take the bus excited about how great of an experience this rich party is going to be.
Off duty, so please don't feel weird doing drugs in front of me, or with me.
They arrive at Burns's house in the Hamptons. They are ready for fancy. However, it's not the party they expected. They all complain about how cheap the event is. Even Mo, who is the cheapest of all, complains. Wow, that must be a new low. So everyone leaves. Burns doesn't understand why people are leaving, and he blames Smithers for not bringing the ice. He's probably lazing around in Canada. Later, Burns goes to cry because his party was a complete failure. Homer sees him and tries to cheer him up, but they get distracted by something happening across the bay. It turns out there's another party going on. Homer decides to take Burns there.
Would it help if I whipped you?
Maybe. Yeah, a little.
Burns gets excited when they arrive at the grand white party and starts asking who the host is.
No one has ever met him.
He doesn't exist.
Oh, he's upstairs in his office.
As they enter, a mysterious shadow appears, and he introduces himself as JG, who looks very similar to someone who also throws parties and is also a music mogul. But hey, I guess it was just a coincidence. He is not happy to see them. However, JG becomes thrilled when he hears Mr. Burns' name, showing himself to be a big admirer of his. He explains that it was thanks to a book Burns wrote years ago that JG started to become wealthy. The first step in the book was to have a logo, and JG chose a goose.
You make me believe I can fly.
Homer is more interested in the goose than the story.
Ow!
Burns is shocked that his book actually helped someone. And JG shows everything he accomplished thanks to it. From that moment, a great friendship forms between them. Meanwhile, the Simpsons family is walking around the Hamptons, where there are many fancy boutiques. They enter an elegant ice cream shop with strange flavours, and the place is full of rich kids. The richest of them all is Blake Black, who skips the line, which irritates Lisa. She's told that Blake does this because the richest dad makes the rules. Lisa confronts Blake, telling him he has to wait like everyone else. He tries to calm her down by offering to buy ice cream for everyone, but she refuses and leaves. The little rich brat follows her, intrigued by her principles, and invites her out. Lisa feels somewhat flattered.
Yes, it is a little judgy of me to be completely disgusted by you.
Meanwhile, Bart is upset that Lisa found a rich friend, and their dad is hanging out with a hip-hop mogul, while he's stuck shopping with his mum. A candle salesman tries to calm Bart down, and Homer, still narrating, mentions that this character will return later, though he doesn't recall why.
Who I think comes back later. I forget why.
Homer spends more time with Burns and JG, who shows off everything he owns.
Each of my enterprises has its own G6.
What's that one?
JG takes them on one of his jets and wants to give back, so he gives Burns a very exclusive credit card, saying,
Take it if you want to roll like G.
Meanwhile, Blake takes Lisa out on his boat to see whales, but Lisa is sad that they are too far away. Blake does a rich call.
Fellas, what can we do here?
And this, of course, infuriates Lisa. Back with the billionaires, JG shows Burns an expensive chain with his logo and tells him he has to use the credit card and splurge to live like him. Burns isn't convinced, but when he swipes the card, something inside him is unleashed.
Once, going twice, $10 million! Sold!
Something I don't even want.
From that moment, Burns and JG go on a spending spree, living that millionaire Instagram lifestyle, even buying some of Homer's friends to be his entourage.
Goodbye, loneliness.
As the Simpsons family continues shopping in the Hamptons, Marge starts to lose her mind a little. Lisa, noticing a horse show and a protest, sees that Blake is involved.
This now runs on solar power and falafel.
He tells Lisa he gave up his privileges because she rejected him and he wanted to be worthy of her. He even offers her to join the protest, but another boy interrupts them and invites Lisa to brush the horses, leaving her in a difficult decision. It's no surprise that she chooses the horses, leaving Blake confused and hurt again.
For her, I gave up what meant most to me, being a douche.
I have always say Lisa morals are weak. Meanwhile, Homer gives Burns the bill for his credit card. Burns worries he's overspending, but quickly dismisses it. As he continues asking Smithers about the ice, Burns tries to fill up his car with gas. When he tries to pay, his card is declined, and it's destroyed, and now he's broke.
I splashed all my cash.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It was your first credit card.
Homer discovers that JG tricked Burns into bankruptcy, and JG even made a diss song about it.
Excellent!
JG took all of Burns's properties, leaving him defeated, sad, and miserable. His entourage abandons him as well. JG arrives to take Burns's hounds too, but Burns says he raised them since they were puppies, so they'll remain loyal. However, JG flashes his diamond rings, and the dogs immediately go to him. Burns thanks Homer for staying by his side, since Smithers hasn't returned yet. In Canada, Smithers, a la Luke Skywalker, comes out of a horse's corpse and continues forth trying to bring home some ice for Burns. Mr. Burns says Homer wouldn't return to the power plant if Burns isn't in charge. Homer does not give him a quick answer, and it is better to ask Marge, and she encourages him to keep working at the plant, as they now also have a shop to maintain. Marge has opened a boutique in the Hamptons, selling quirky items.
Can't we live off the money from your store?
Oh, God, no.
Homer leaves Burns to return to work at the now changed and very sexy Gucci plant. JG asks to see Homer to thank him for his loyalty and asks him to remove all of Burns' stuff and toss it in the trapdoor.
Don't look at me! Stop looking at me!
JG offers him all the pies he can imagine as a reward. However, Homer's heart feels heavy because of everything JG did. Searching for an open grave to release his vomit, he visits Burns at the cemetery, where Burns is sitting alone, defeated by his poverty.
Would you like a sip of grief soup? I stewed it from flowers left on graves.
Moved, now Homer decides to help Burns try to find a way to get revenge on JG. So the next day, Burns and Homer are planning a very cruel revenge on JG.
Oh, banana in his tailpipe.
I can't afford a banana.
Bart followed Homer and comes over, and since Bart now has more money than he does, he is reluctant to help him.
I've got more money than he does.
But a sick costume does the job, and now they are forming a plan to destroy his rap career, and to do so, they need an expert.
We gotta go to the ultimate expert on urban culture. A white nerd.
So, they go to Milhouse, who tells them JG used to be in a rap group. When he shows them the album, Bart realizes he knows one of the group members. The Lyrical Miracle. It's the candle salesman Homer talked about.
Lyrical Miracle?
My skills were empirical.
His name is Jesse James, and he explains that JG stole many of his songs, and even his girlfriend.
All right, on sign!
He decides to join them to create a revenge rap song. Marge finds Homer and shows him how far her boutique has come, pushing it to the extreme.
What should I charge for these handbags made from the speaker covers of old jukeboxes?
$100.
Some guy tells them that is the cute, useless little store cursed, and that one day there used to be actual stores, until the idle rich wives appeared. At the studio, nothing comes out. It's like, has lost it. There is no inspirations. However, Mr. Burns has an idea.
I'm feeling it! I'm feeling it!
While in the recording booth, Jazzy James's ex joins them, ready to help take everything from JG. 3 very important figures are also part of the plan: Snoop Dogg, RZA and Common.
And when I complained, all he did was laugh.
This diss track is ready to shine and some feelings are about to be hurt, and Mr. Burns wishes Smithers was there to see this comeback. While in Canada, Smithers' misadventures continue. Wow, he's become a man. Everyone is entering the listening party ready to hear the diss track. However, during the song's live performance, things go wrong. Instead of them performing on stage, a hologram of JG and his goose appears. And let's just say it, he resolved the situation with money.
They'd never sell out.
They would. For money.
He bought the song and all the performers, inviting everyone to a party at the plant. Burns is left defeated once again, punching the hologram in frustration.
Punching back ceaselessly into his own face.
Meanwhile, Marge becomes obsessed with her shop, and Homer confesses he hasn't been going to work, but stayed loyal to Burns. Marge doesn't get mad. In fact, she supports Homer for following his heart. Burns has one last idea for revenge. But before he acts, he tells Marge they can no longer maintain the boutique, finally freeing her from her madness. And literally, seconds later, other victims fall into the trap of useless stores.
Sell so many Yorkie sweaters.
Homer and Burns sneak into JG's mansion to steal the goose. When JG walks into his room with his milk prepared on the strange altar he had for the goose, but it's not there anymore, it's pretty weird how this celebrity has strange obsessions. Well, at least it's not like celebrities in real life have strange tastes, right? When JG arrives, Burns makes him believe they've already cooked the goose.
Trifle fatty, but other than that, excellent.
JG is destroyed, but Homer couldn't bring himself to do it.
Damn it! I saved your life, you stupid duck!
Angry, Burns decides to cook it himself.
Then I'll kill it myself.
And just as JG and Burns chase the goose, they get trapped in a chandelier about to fall. Burns keeps asking why JG betrayed him. JG explains that Burns told him to do it in the last page of his book.
You will never be truly ruthless until you destroy the one who made you.
He just wanted to be ruthless like Mr. Burns, so he, instead of being angry, Burns is proud to have created someone so sinister like himself. But they are about to die, and when the chandelier drops, finally, Smithers arrives with the ice, saving Burns from his fall. And apparently, he is now the leader of a gang.
Smithers! Smithers! Smithers!
Wow, that's truly character development right there. Burns forgives JG and gets his power plant back.
Excellent.
As the family leaves in the sunset, Lisa wonders if this experience changed Mr. Burns, and it kind of did, with him celebrating every day a moment of musical appreciation.
Let's not do this tomorrow.
This was a very awesome special, is in the style of The Great Gatsby, which was an awesome movie. Just like the time The Simpsons parodied the movie Coraline, if you want to see what The Simpsons are like in this world, click on this video, but not before leaving your like and subscription